Okay guys, so just a quick video on a few tips on getting shoes and boots shiny for training. Speaking to a few people on the forums and they've tried to get boots shiny, it's getting there but it's not working as good as you'd hoped. So hopefully I'm going to give you a few tips on how to get a good shine. So a few things that you're going to need. Polished black obviously. It doesn't have to be kiwi, it can be any polish you like. I just personally like that one. A silhouette, now this isn't a silhouette, this is just a duster. I would use a silhouette usually, but I've left it at work and I haven't got it with me, so we're going to have to use a duster for that. Cotton wool, which we'll come to later. A flame of some sort, lighter, candle, anything like that works well. Most importantly, water. So, first thing that we're going to do is I've got, I just use a cheap pair of shoes first of all. So what you're going to do is, get rid of that one, take a shoe or boots, whatever it is that you're going to use. Glove, sorry I forgot to mention, I always use gloves, you don't have to, but it's just better and it saves a lot less mess. And it saves, which I'll come on to now, putting fingerprints into polish. So first what you're going to do is a bit of polish on your finger or glove, whatever it is you're going to be. I've already done this a couple of times, you can probably see actually if I show you both of them, you can see that one of them is slightly matte finish and that hasn't got anything on, but I don't need that one. So all you're going to do is you're going to rub it on like that. Okay, rub it all into the toe cap, covering it everywhere. You don't want to really go onto the uppers because it's just going to crack off anyway. But if you rub it on all over there, get it everywhere. It's going to be a bit messy, and if you don't use gloves, you're going to get it all over your hands, and it can be quite a pain to get off. Okay, I'm just doing it quick time just so we can get through the video. Right, okay, so no, I don't know if you can see, but what you can see on there is, if I do that, you can see like lines in the polish, and we don't want that because it's quite difficult to get out, and what we're trying to achieve is a glass finish. So here comes the lighter element of it. So what you're going to do with this, if you're using a finger and you're not using a glove, you might see fingerprints in it. You don't want that. You want to try and eliminate that as much as possible, because when you start to use a silhouette with a polish, it's incredibly difficult to get it out and you won't get as smooth a finish as you want. So all we're going to do, lighter, we're just going to sort of, I don't know if you can see, I hope you can see, just touch it along the polish like that. Don't be alarmed if it sets the shoe and the polish on fire. It's quite like alcohol, it'll just burn out very quickly, but you don't want to leave it on there for a long time. You're literally just touching it over. So if you can do it flat like that, it'll flatten the polish off. It will melt the polish and you will still get some runs into it, but with a bit of practice you can get those out. So burn those around like that, and then I blow it dry. You can just start to see there's a few runs in it. We can get those out, that's not a problem. It's just the lines that you need to get out, but you can see it start to go flat. Just blow it and try it a little bit. Okay, so it's just start to go flat, and it will be a little bit soft still. But it dries pretty quick when you've got that. Some of it will be shiny, some of it will be matte, you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, so when you're doing that, you're going to need to do that a few times and let it dry. I mean, I did like 3 layers on that last night and just let it dry overnight. But keep doing it. The more layers you get on the initial stage, the easier it's going to be to bull it up to a glass finish. So you want to try and get as many layers on as you can of that. Let it dry, and then the next stage that you're going to do is get your silhouette. I would definitely recommend a silhouette because they're a lot easier. What happens with a duster, which you can see there, when you put the polish on it and you put it on the shoe, you need the polish to go on the shoe and not stay on the duster, and it does stay on the duster, so it takes a little bit longer with this. But on the silhouette, for some reason that doesn't happen. I don't know what it's made out of, but it is good. They cost about £5, you can get them off eBay and things. But a silhouette is definitely the way forward, is definitely the things that I use. So just one finger, or 2 fingers, twist it around the finger like that. You don't want any creases, that needs to be flat. You don't want any creases on there, otherwise it will mark the shoe or the boot. The first thing you do, soak it in water. Get water over it, let it soak in. You'll feel it on your finger. Just get them on there. Okay, put a bit of paper down because the wife will kill me if she saw me do it on this table. Right, okay, so literally, wet finger, same as before, just dipping it in the polish, but you don't want too much, certainly don't want as much as you put on your finger. So you're literally just going to put some on. You can see how much I've got on there. This is the long part now, the long process. So literally all you're going to do is rub it on like that. And you're going to keep rubbing and keep rubbing and keep rubbing and keep rubbing. Okay, so you're going to rub everywhere that you just put over. You can see it'll go and matte finish again. Go into circles any way you like. Try and get it, you're aiming to get as smooth a finish as you can, so if you see any lines in it, or you see any sort of bumpy bits, try and smooth them out, okay? Not pressing on too hard, a little bit of pressure, but you're not pressing on too hard because you don't want to crack the surface of the polish. Okay, so keep rubbing, and keep dipping it in the water. Don't worry about polish every time, but just keep dipping it in the water. The shine comes from the water and the polish combined, so just keep dipping it in. And this is where you might want to do this while you're watching TV or something, because it's quite boring, but I like it. So I'm a freak like that. So we're going to keep doing the ears like that. I'm going to show you on one of my boots in a second how quick the shine we're going to get. So if we keep doing that, and you can see, that's why I don't like dusters, you can see it leaves the polish on the duster. It does work, but it doesn't work as good as a silhouette. Okay, so we're going to leave that. So that eventually, when you keep doing that, you'll eventually come with a matte finish. Let me just try and show you this on my boot, and then hopefully. Okay, so this is my boot that I've already halfway through. So these are the boots that I'll be wearing for training. Okay, so you can see that it's just done the same as the shoe. Hopefully you'll be able to see this go. See the process of actually going from dull to shiny with a bit of luck, but don't ruin it. Okay, so as you're doing it and it starts to dry, just lessen off the pressure a little bit with your finger. Keep dipping it in the water. Okay. Let me just move that to a clean part of it. You don't need to do this with a silver because it's much easier, but okay. So you can see, I hope you can see. You can see with a clean bit of duster and a bit of water, just literally a light finger on the surface, you can see it's already starting to get shiny. I'm just rushing through this just for the sake of the video, but it does take a long time to build up the layers. Okay, so we'll come back to this boot in a second. Right. So you've got your layers on there, you've started to do a little bit of bulling. When you start to bull the actual boot, what you don't want to be able to see, and I noticed one of the guys, I think it was Eddie, I think on the video, said that he wasn't sure if you got the right boot that you can bull. You can bull any shoe. These are, I think these probably cost about 40 quid from Next, and not particularly expensive boots. But the point is the leather will do the same. You can do it on any leather surface to bull it. But what you don't want to be able to see when you come to the end of the sort of the process, you don't want to be able to see the texture of the leather through the polish. The polish needs to be almost like black glass. If you can see the texture of the leather through the polish when you get into the latter stages, you need to put more polish on. Otherwise, it will be shiny, and it will be very shiny, but you'll not achieve a clear sort of finish. So it's important when you get to the shining, the boot starts to shine. Have a look at the leather, see if you can see the texture of the boot, and if you can still see the texture through it, just add a little bit more polish with your silhouette and keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, and you will get to a stage where it will start to go really, really shiny with your silhouette or dust or whatever you choose to use. When you get to that stage, less is more with the polish. So just keep going around with the polish. Same again, water polish, and just keep going around. When it becomes shiny, less polish, more water, less pressure, and you'll achieve a good shine. Right, so when that's done, the next part of the process, cotton wool. Any cotton wool will do. I've got a load of this because my wife is expecting our second child any day. A bit polished, never does matter. Cotton wool. So you just a little tiny amount. Again, in the water, squeeze off the excess. Definitely at this stage. So when you've done the silhouette stage and you've got a decent shine on there, definitely less is more on this, and I'll show you exactly how much or how little we need. You literally just put it in there, touching it, and ever so slightly moving it. And that literally that you see on the end of that cotton wool there, that is enough for this stage, okay? And all you're going to do is the same as a silhouette, but with a cotton wool. So you're going to just go around it all over the bit that you've just done with your finger and your silhouette. Again, anyway, doesn't really matter. You can probably see, hopefully you can see that the boot is starting to shine. And again, when you start, you can see that it's gone off the actual cotton wool. There's a little tiny bit there. And when that does happen, again, a little bit more, bit of water. Okay, so if I'll stop at this stage, and you can see that it's gone matte. Hopefully you can see the camera's focus, but you can see it's gone matte. A little bit of water on there. You're going to do it again. Keep going and keep going. Keep looking at it. When it starts to become a little bit dry, or you can't see as much water, just a little dab in the water. You're not pressing on particularly hard here. You just, a little bit of pressure, just to get rid of the polish off the cotton wool. Hopefully you're starting to see that it's starting to blow. Well, let's see what we've got there. Just take some of the water off the shoe just to show you. Hopefully it'll. Right, so you can see that it's just starting to go a very, very shiny. And this will, I'll get this a lot better, obviously given the time, but just for the purposes of the video, we'll leave that little bit there. Okay, so when you get to this stage, the next stage that you want to do, which I can't show you because I can't move the camera, because if you could see what I've got it set up on, you'd laugh. You want to go to the tap, cold water, no polish, just cold water, run the tap so that you got water running onto the boot, fresh bit of cotton wool, nothing on it, no cotton wool whatsoever. Get the water so that it's running onto the shoe, or the boot, whatever it is, and just rub. No polish, this is just cotton wool and just water. And you'll be amazed at the shine that the water and the cotton wool does. Almost like buffs it, I suppose. So that, bearing in mind, the water's still running on this shoe right now. Keep doing that. And that gets any other crap off the surface that you've got on there. Any dust. And you can see that it is slightly, a little bit of a deeper shine, just with the water. That is literally it. A few sort of maintenance notes really. You can see, I hope you can see, the polish is starting to crack there, and that is, I've not worn these boots yet, but as you see the actual, you can imagine where it's a softer part of the leather, so that is going to crack, and you can see that it's starting to fracture in the polish. There's nothing you can do about that. On your first day when you wear them, it will crack, and what to do with that is just a boot brush, brush all the cracked polish off, so that there's no sort of shards and splinters and things. Brush all over there, it doesn't really matter about scratching all the toe cap because you're going to do this again anyway. Brush it all off, all the rubbish polish that's cracked and broken off. If you scuff them, well, you definitely will scuff them. If you scuff them, or when you scuff them, you're going to need to repeat the Silhouette process a couple of times, and the cotton wool, depending on if you want a great shine every day. If not, just do the Silhouette, and you'll get just as good a result, especially from a distance. So repeat that process as much as you need to. Obviously, when you crack the polish over there, it will crack eventually. The only way to sort of to allow that not to happen is you would do what we do in the army with our which you would get beeswax, melt the beeswax into the actual leather, but that makes the leather rock hard so that you don't get that flex, and it doesn't. All we do is do the maintenance on the toe caps. It doesn't actually crack. If it cracks, we haven't put enough beeswax on, but we're not going to do that because we don't need beeswax in the police. Right, cool. So there's really not much else to it apart from that, guys. Definitely worth investing in a Silhouette. I would say. I have used yellow dusters. This is a microfiber cloth. It's pretty pants really, but I can achieve the results. It just takes a little bit longer. Get a Silhouette if you can, and enjoy. I'm sure you'll get some decent results, and it should look like that. If it doesn't look like that, then give us a shout, and I'll see if I can find out where you're going wrong. So just to recap, finger polish onto the shoe, rub it on. Silhouette or duster, water, polish, keep rubbing it. This stage, guys, is going to take a few hours. It's not going to happen in 5 minutes. It's important to let the polish dry as well once you put it on with your finger, otherwise you'll just rub it off. But it's certainly not going to happen in 5 minutes. It's going to take it's going to take a couple of hours. So just do it while you're sat on the sofa and things, or you're bored. But actually, it's starting to do it a little bit there. Yeah, so I hope you can see it's starting to shine now. But again, you can see the texture of the leather through there, so you need to put some more polish on, or I do. And that, guys, is pretty much it. Any problems, send me a message on the forum, and I'll see if I can point you in the right direction. Failing that, you'll probably see me in training at some point throughout your training. Good luck, and let us know how you get on.